You know, I've been checking into the story of Buford Pusser, the ambush, Pauline's relationship with Buford, so on for many, many years. It probably started back along about 2000. I started doing audio interviews with various people. I've mentioned several of them in the past: Bill Way, Levon Plunk, Paul Irvin, Jerry Francisco, just so many I can't even begin to think. I've got quite an archive of all of these audio conversations that I've made. And like I said in a previous episode, I thought I would start sharing those with everyone. They're interesting. It gives some validation to what I'm saying is you're hearing it from the people who were actually there, that participated in these events, that lived their own part of the real story. It's not make believe like you see in the Walking Tall movies or you see on the Pusser fan pages. These are real people who were there, who lived it. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of that. We're going to start out with Bill Way. Now, Bill was a reporter and a photographer for the Memphis Commercial Appeal. Uh, he was with Warren Jones the day of the August 12th ambush. He rode down there from Jackson with Warren that morning, and Jones told him to bring his camera, that he wanted him to take some photographs of everything he saw. So Bill did exactly that. Uh, when he got there, he told me that they went to all the crime scenes there at Eastview, uh, up to the first ambush site by the church, and then on back down to the second ambush site where all the shell casings were found and where logically most of the ambush occurred. Now, I had no idea what Bill was going to say when I called him up. Uh, I just decided it would be an opportunity to try and get some additional information that I hadn't yet received. So I thought I'd give it a whirl, and I was kind of surprised by what I got. Now, I do apologize up front for the quality of the audio. It's not very good. This was something that was done 15 to 20 years ago. Uh, Technology's changed a lot since those days, and it's really gotten quite better. But I'm going to let you hear these. They're going to be short clips. For instance, this original interview is probably about an hour long, and there's a lot of information in there that just really doesn't go anywhere to speak of. So I've edited it down to two or three different parts. So hopefully you'll get the gist of what Bill saw. And keep in mind, you know, he photographed all this. He photographed Pauline laying there in the front seat. He photographed the car. Uh, he was at the ambush sites. He heard what officers were saying as they checked out the circumstances that were there. So this isn't my opinion. This is from a totally independent person who was there that day. Have a listen.
Mr. Way?
Yes.
My name is Mike Elam. I'm calling from Bentonville, Arkansas.
Okay.
And what I was calling about was, I understand that you used to work for the Memphis Commercial Appeal.
I did. Sure did.
Well, I was calling about the alleged ambush on Buford Pusser. I understand that you took some photos of that at the time.
I covered the entire story. In fact, covered on the death of his wife and all that sort of thing. I was there the entire time. Okay. Everything Buford Pusser ever did, I covered.
Well, the reason I'm calling, I guess, is because I don't know how to say this. I used to be a big fan of Buford Pusser.
Okay.
I'm a former law enforcement officer myself. Studying the story, the more I studied it, and I don't know how to say this. I am one of those that believe that, like I say, I use the word alleged ambush. I don't believe there was one.
Right. Exactly right.
You say exactly right.
Exactly right. Yes. There was more to it with me than just being a reporter for the Commercial Appeal. I ran the bureau, what they call a West Tennessee Bureau.
Yes.
And that was included in my territory, so I covered every story over there. But my father was a ranking officer in the
Did you know Warren Jones?
Very, very well. Very well.
I understand that I was speaking with Dr. Jerry Francisco. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Sure I am, yeah.
Well, I was talking with him, probably a couple of months ago, and he was telling me at the time, of course, I visited with LaVon Plunk, P.D. Plunk's wife. That was one of Buford's deputies, of course.
Right.
And she was telling me that at the time of the ambush that the Pussers were separated, as far as she knew.
Well, not legally. They were living two separate lives. And most of the time they spent running the bars here in Madison County, around Jackson. I'd see her all the time. You know, I was out and about a lot in those days, on stories and every other thing. And Pauline would come up here. You know, there was a club out on the north side of Jackson at the time that was called, what was the name? The El Rancho. And it was like a world-class roadhouse, okay? And then people would come up, you know, a couple nights a week, and then some, you know, it was just, they were living the life, the sporting life.
Now, in this next excerpt, you're going to get to hear what Bill Way and others discussed about what they saw and heard at the ambush sites that morning.
The hit. He was not hit by those rifle shots. He shot himself in the jaw.
Well, that's been my opinion.
It's a fact.
Either that, I've always thought, or in recent years have thought that either he shot himself or he had an accomplice that shot him to make it look good.
No, he shot himself with a .357. It's no, it wouldn't be a fatal injury. It was disfiguring, but it was not fatal.
So there you have it, straight from an audio recording I made of myself and Bill Way about 15 years ago, actually. I apologize for the quality of the sound. The technology's changed a lot in the last 15 years, but you got to hear him in his own words describe Buford and Pauline's relationship, as well as what he saw and what he heard being discussed at the ambush site that day. I intend to bring more clips out of the several hours that I have on in collection. At any rate, I'll be playing more of those in the near future. Until then, have a good day.